I just heard a really, really great metaphor, call it a metaphor, a story, example of just how far and how fast America has declined. Okay? And so in 2 generations, right, the greatest generation had 18-year-olds storming the beaches of Normandy to save the world, right? Save the world. I find it interesting that all this stuff is happening after they're pretty much 90% gone. But those 18-year-olds stormed the beaches at Normandy knowing that they were friggin' cannon fodder. They were just there for German target practice. And now, just 2 short generations later, those people's great-grandchildren at 18, they can't even, they need a safe space if somebody says something that hurts their feelings.
Look at the deep, pained look on this very troubled, very unintelligent man's face as he just consternates over the fall of manliness in our society. Just 2 generations ago, he literally laments a time when people ran in to become target practice and cannon fodder for German soldiers shooting them. While, of course, storming the beach of Normandy was incredibly brave and necessary to help save the world, we still got plenty of wars now. Are you not aware of that? Plenty of our soldiers still are brave enough to risk their lives and often very tragically die for our country. So we still got that. Doesn't mean we can't evolve to not say super offensive things around people if there's no benefit to them hearing those things. Now, I do also disagree with safe spaces and don't think we should be sheltering people from hearing things. But to lament and prove that American men have gone downhill, why? Because we don't get shot in the face no more on beaches. Now we just want to not hear sad stuff. It's just an absurd example of this toxic masculinity that needs to change. Do you think this is new, though? Is it new that people are trying to blame the lack of masculinity on society and saying that men are getting more soft? Let me take you through a journey of this exact same topic coming up over and over again in recent history, and maybe even way back. Let's start recent. Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro talking about Harry Styles, oh no, wearing a dress recently on the cover of a magazine. She said, it's an outright attack, bring back manly men, it's the steady feminization of our men. Shapiro replied, anyone who pretends it's not a referendum on masculinity for men to don floofy dresses is treating you as a full-on idiot, said the incredibly manly man, Ben Shapiro. I could break Ben Shapiro into 2 pieces with 1 finger without even thinking about it, like accidentally, like twirling him around my fingers, being like, oh my gosh, I just broke Ben Shapiro, totally by accident. One of the least masculine men I've ever seen should shut his mouth. Does he think he's 1/15th the manliness of Harry Styles? In a dress? Harry Styles in a dress. Take a look at what that looks like. He's wearing a dress like many rock stars have in the past. Bowie, Prince, tons. Nirvana, tons of artists. Some of the most manly men you're gonna meet are people who have the confidence to dress however they like and not let it affect their very shallow, shatterable male ego. This is what I wore 2 Halloweens ago so I could match my girlfriend's outfit, and because I thought it would be funny. Boom, Harley Quinn. Do I look feminine to you? Do I look not tough to you? Do I look feminized? Do I look emasculated, Ben Shapiro? I'm happy to put that outfit on any day and take you on one-on-one. Are you interested? Are you a little fraidy little feminine baby? Is that what it is? Let's go further back. How about 2004? How about this news clipping from 2004? Today's men, particularly young men, are embracing their feminine sides, experts say. They're seeking sleek electronics, the right face cream, and an honest manicurist. It's a social evolution. It's a new name for this category of guy, metrosexual. He's a man who's not afraid of Celine Dion or a little hair gel. Look, we should all be a little afraid of Celine Dion. She's a very intense woman. She beats her chest and doesn't even feel it. Shall we go for it? Oh! Is she clearing herself from a heart attack all the time? It's hard to know. But let's go further back in time. 1997. The way we are. Southerners think that men are less manly and that women are less feminine than they used to be, and that both of these things are not good, says a poll taken by the Institute for Research in Social Science. Uh-oh. Southerners always afraid of their manliness going away. It's because they're very, very fragile and are barely men themselves. Anyone who believes that opinion. Let's go further back. 1984. Are American men wimpier now than then? I'm an older woman and I believe in equal rights and all that, but Langdon, don't you think all this women's lib stuff has contributed to the wimping of American men? Let's go further back. 1977. High rises help erode masculinity. There's always some reason for it. High rises help erode masculinity. Living in high-rise apartment buildings help make men effeminate. A York University psychiatrist and professor of environmental studies said yesterday, a man with no garden, because gardening is super manly suddenly, to dig, or the opportunity to carry out masculine activities becomes passive and effeminate, helping his wife with her chores. This is as recently as 1977. But let's go further back. 1965. That men are becoming feminine was the motion debated by Chelsea and Willesden young liberals at the College of St. Mark and St. John, Chelsea last week. She said that men were increasingly avoiding their responsibilities nowadays, and their increasing use of toiletries, long hair, and dandified clothes were obvious signs that men were becoming effete. And with this went a lack of manners and gentleness to be expected from the stronger sex. Yes, strong always means gentle. You're confused even in your little clipping, even in your little statement. And toiletries are not manly now? That's really imagine if going this far back really affected people's manliness. There would be no men left. There would literally be, every man would be so soft, he'd be like a piece of delicious sponge cake you could just bite into and let the strawberry shortcake warm your soul. Because it goes even further back. I mean, if we've been effeminized for so long, how are we existing at all? How do I have a penis? Do I have a penis? I haven't checked in a while. 1950. Here's surprising news. We men are getting feminine. I can't entirely stomach the idea either, but it seems to be true. Some research guys looking into men's masculine-feminine ratios tell us we're losing our masculinity and gaining in femininity. What a discovery. Maybe in 50 years, we'll sing soprano. I would like to say, oh no, it's happening. I'm not a man anymore because I can do a high-pitched voice. Or I'm more of a man. Whoa. 1932 headline, are men becoming feminine and are women to blame? I mean, probably. It's a good safe bet to blame women for whatever you're lacking on your own, dude. Always a good bet. How about 1925? Men becoming effeminate. New York physician says they are and cites lilac pajamas and embroidered bathrobes as proof. It's really tough for men to be able to be manly when men themselves are to blame. This article blames men themselves. At least they're taking responsibility this time. Quote, to a great extent, man is to blame for the new order, Dr. Shaw believes, because he has changed his wardrobe. When men began to wear soft hats, silk socks, pearl-colored spats, lilac pajamas, and embroidered bathrobes, the process of feminization gained a good start. I can't even read that sentence without turning more feminine myself. He continues, even the safety razor contributed. Yes, if you're a real man, you should get cuts all over your face when chopping the hair off of your face. You should not be hairy, like man traditionally would be, but you should chop it off with blood all over your damn face. Look, I'm wearing a sports shirt. Does that mean I'm manly? Not at all. I'm dancing in a ballet tonight. No, I'm not. Maybe I am. Are you confused now? Is your own sense of masculinity a little topsy-turvy? Well, good. Deal with it. Maybe it'll make you stronger. Let's go further back. 1922. Men becoming feminine using much makeup. Long Beach, August 31. Feminine tendencies in masculine clothing were excoriated in Judge Carl Hawkins' court, while Carlton B. Hilbert, both super old sounding names, in a part of funny little panties, stood silently behind a sickly smile. Where's your vanity case? Stormed the judge. All that is lacking is in your makeup are some ruffles on your cuffs and a ribbon in your hair. He was fined $25 when he admitted executing a suggestive dance at a local dance hall. Whoa, don't be dancing, dude. That's girl stuff. Even though traditionally dancing requires a partner, and that partner is traditionally man, still, don't do it. Or do it, but don't tell anybody. Definitely don't tell the judge. This one from 1920 is pretty amazing. Cardinal urges man to assert home authority. Growing weakness on the part of the men of the country is developing a sinister feminism, Cardinal O'Connell told a gathering of men at the Cathedral of the Holy Cross last night. Man, as the head of the house, he said, should assert his proper authority in the home. The women are becoming masculine, if you please. The men are becoming effeminate. This is disorder. He questioned how a father could look on and see his children, especially the girls, running rampant without any consideration for modesty. Women should not run, and men should not have facial hair, but they should bleed for the getting rid of the hair. Don't forget these rules. The cardinal said so. My favorite from 1902, no feminine men wanted. I noticed a certain style among young men in almost every locality, a style so repulsive and weak as to shock the intelligence of refined people, the hateful style of parting the hair in the middle. If we expect to cultivate strong manhood on American soil, we will miss it if we bring forth abundant crops of feminine men. And went on to say he saw 15 men in church with their hair parted in the middle, and they are useless to society, utterly worthless, because their hair was like this instead of like this. If you think your masculinity is affected by where your hair parts, You're the weakest, softest man humanly possible. I'd like to put strawberry shortcake on you and eat you for dessert. This is even a problem as far back as 1886 when men started losing their masculinity. Article, Are the Sexes Changing Places? Men becoming feminine in their bearing, and women grow more dashing. This man's attracted to dashing women, the writer of this article. It is rather amusing to note just now that the fashionable world displays a tendency decidedly the reverse of that which obtained a few years ago. Once it was proper for men to cultivate a marital bearing. They held their heads in the air, took manly strides, held their shoulders back, and were brisk and talkative. And you continue on, all this is very bad form now. Men should droop a little, carry themselves carelessly, and bend their head a trifle forward. If the 500 specimens on view at the horse show are to be taken as examples, this man was studying the men at a horse show and not the horses. Keep your eye on the horses, dude, kind of eyeing up the men's trousers too much. Their clothes, he continues, should not fit too snugly. Why, does it make you aroused, feminine man? Their trousers must be very wide and always freshly ironed so that the seams will show, just as they do in trousers that have just come from the tailor. How about stop studying men's seams so much? Go do a push-up, plant a flower, be nice to people, expand your view of masculinity, and grow the hell up. I mean, not the writer of this, he's long dead now, but to the rest of you. Men are just fine. It's you that's the problem. I'm Ben Gleib for Rebel HQ and TYT. Check out my stand-up comedy special, The Mad King, on YouTube. Subscribe to my podcast, Last Week on Earth, new season coming soon. All right, cool. Thanks. Good talk.